And I'm now joined by Arun Perinkolam, who's a principal at Deloitte. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me here.
It's my pleasure. And so everybody at the conference is going to get the opportunity to hear a lot more from you shortly on our first panel session looking at changing the way we live and work. And you're going to be speaking on why cybersecurity needs to be a priority in the area of robotics and in the Internet of Things. And could you share with us a bit, what are the areas of greatest urgency that you see in this realm of cybersecurity from a public policy perspective?
Sure. So, Leili, first of all, thank you for having me here. So a couple of quick perspectives there, right? Really, when you look at trends like the Internet of Things and robotics, in my mind, it has really pushed us into kind of this next era of digital disruption and transformation, right? And as organizations really look to fundamentally transform their businesses by adopting these trends, I think close attention needs to be paid to the cyber risk element. In terms of really thinking through, this is not just a technology problem, right? So as organizations really need to implement, in my mind, business-aligned cybersecurity capabilities. So at the end of the day, they are truly secure, vigilant, and resilient, right, in terms of their business operations. The other aspect for me that's interesting when I look at the Internet of Things and robotics is just, how heterogeneous the ecosystems are, right? It's a constantly evolving marketplace, and organizations end up interfacing with a whole array of technology vendor platforms, service providers, and supply chain partners, right? So, the complexity and the integration points for cyber risk mitigation are so important, right? So, in my mind, I would definitely be appreciative of policies and mechanisms that incentivize both public sector and private sector organizations in implementing strong cybersecurity capabilities and adopting foundational security hygiene.
And so what would those kinds of policies, what are examples of what those kinds of policies would be? Are these coming from kind of the insurance end of things, or are they in terms of things that regulate the actual practice of the business?
So, again, that is where I would say, given that the market is so nascent, right, there is a need for strong security standards and guidelines, and it's still an evolving space. So while a few organizations like NIST have come up with just foundational IoT security frameworks, I think there's still work that needs to be done, right? And you have a whole host of consortiums out there backed by big companies, Fortune 500 companies, that are really trying to think through what are the problem sets in each of the individual industry sectors, right? So, for instance, IoT in industrial control systems is very different from IoT in the healthcare space, and the cyber risks that come along with that are equally different, right? So I would say, we're still not there yet, and I think agencies and the government can definitely help in terms of providing guidelines and standards to assist organizations further.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for joining me, and we're looking forward to hearing more of your comments during the next panel session.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.